No poet, philosopher, or military leader has left a mark comparable to the one Jesus left. His life and work, from his birth to his resurrection, is the most influential story ever told. This man, born in a humble manger in Bethlehem, lived without wealth or titles and yet transformed the course of history. Next, we will explore the life of Jesus chronologically in 6 magnificent steps. Pay close attention, please. 1. The birth of Jesus, the light in the darkness. Jesus was born in circumstances that defied all logic for a world leader. In Bethlehem, in a stable, surrounded by animals and with the presence of humble shepherds. Luke 2:7-20. His birth was announced by angels, but not to kings or the powerful, but to the most marginalized. This contrasts with figures like Alexander the Great, who was born in luxury and proclaimed king from his cradle. Key verses: Matthew 1:18-25, Luke 2:1-7. While earthly kings relied on armies and wealth, Jesus came with a message of hope, humility, and peace, fulfilling prophecies like Isaiah 7:14. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. 2. His childhood silence and spiritual growth. Unlike other historical figures whose childhoods are filled with tales of greatness, the childhood of Jesus remains largely hidden. The only significant mention occurs when, at the age of 12, he astonishes the temple teachers with his knowledge of the scriptures, Luke 2:41-52. Compared to figures like Aristotle, who was a disciple of Plato and taught Alexander the Great from a young age, Jesus did not have access to great centers of learning or the instruction of recognized sages. However, he possessed a wisdom that astonished even the most learned. 3. His public ministry, revolutionary of love. At the age of 30, Jesus began his ministry preaching a radical message of love, forgiveness, and social justice. For 3 years, his teaching and miracles captured the attention of thousands. He fed multitudes with 5 loaves and 2 fish, John 6:1-14, restored sight to the blind, Mark 10:46-52, and raised the dead, John 11:38-44. While philosophers like Confucius or Plato reflected on morality and politics, Jesus lived out his message in a practical way. He did not write treatises or found academies, but he left an impact that transformed humanity. Key verses: Matthew 5-7, Sermon on the Mount, Luke 4:18-19. 4. The death of Jesus, an unmatched sacrifice. Jesus was betrayed by one of his disciples, arrested, unjustly tried, and condemned to die on the cross, a punishment reserved for the lowest criminals. Luke 23:33-46. However, his death was not the end. It was the fulfillment of a divine plan to redeem humanity. Compared to other martyrs like Socrates, who accepted hemlock in defense of his ideals, the sacrifice of Jesus had a transcendental purpose: to offer salvation to all humanity. Key verses: Isaiah 53:5, John 19:30. 5. The resurrection, the ultimate victory. 3 days after his death, Jesus rose again, fulfilling his promise and demonstrating his power over death. Matthew 28:1-10. This event marks the difference between Jesus and any other religious or historical leader. Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius died and remain in their graves, but Jesus' tomb was empty. His resurrection was not only a personal triumph, but also a guarantee of hope for millions of believers. Key verses: 1 Corinthians 15:3-8, Romans 6:9. 6. The impact of Jesus beyond the centuries. Today, Jesus is more well known than Shakespeare, who dominated literature, or Albert Einstein, a scientific genius. His influence is measured not only in books sold — the Bible is the most read in history — but also in cultural, philosophical, and social movements. While leaders like Napoleon Bonaparte left empires that fell, Jesus built an eternal kingdom. As Napoleon himself declared, Jesus is more than a man. His kingdom is not of this world, but it rules the hearts. As you can see in these 6 steps you just heard, we realize who Jesus is and how his power is the key to our life. Brothers, love God, Jesus, and embrace the Holy Cross before it's too late.